joining us live now is founder of Caregiver Wisdom, Kim Moy. Hey, Kim. It's great to see you.
Hi, Kristen. Great to see you.
We've kind of come full circle. This is crazy that I'm interviewing you because we started our journalism careers together, right? UC Berkeley and then Asian American Journalists Association. Your career, I'm going to show people your old picture, not to embarrass you, but this is how far back we go. Over 30 years, there you are as a Cup reporter for the Daily Cal, I think. Look, you went on to a very successful career. Yeah, it's crazy to me that that we've known each other this long. But I want to say you left this path recently, right? After AOL, Yahoo News, and there you are, managing editor for Yahoo's front page when, you know, tech news was just starting. But you left all this behind, and now you're a caregiving coach and the founder of Caregiver Wisdom, which is a support platform for caregivers. How did life's twists and turns bring you to this juncture?
Oh, wow. Thank you so much for asking, Kristen. My husband has a very debilitating illness, and it's called myalgic encephalitis, also known as chronic fatigue syndrome. We call it ME/CFS for short, and it's a neurological illness that's caused by an infection. It then causes extreme fatigue, cognitive problems, and unrefreshing sleep. And a range sometimes of 200 other health issues. In my husband's case, it also causes intense pain, migraines, GI issues, a whole host of other issues. And unfortunately now, a lot of people with long COVID, millions of people, are now experiencing the same symptoms and getting diagnosed with the same illness.
Look, I'm showing these pictures because these are photos of you taking care of him. There was that photo of you dancing, which clearly you both enjoyed when you first met, right? And you told me that he was already suffering from it when you first met, but not to the same degree. Talk about how quickly it progressed, and at this point, what is he able to do or not able to do? And what does your life look like?
Yeah, boy, it's drastically different. When we first met, he actually told me on our very first date that he had this illness that he had somehow kind of sort of overcome, in the sense that he had found some treatments in terms of being able to pace himself, because one of the first things people say is when you're diagnosed with this illness to really take it easy. You have to really watch how much physical activity you do, and you really have to be very careful to not overdo it. And so by the time we met, we were able to go salsa dancing, but we just couldn't dance every song that I wanted to because I loved it. Now we can't hit the dance floor. Now it's really challenging to go to eat out at a restaurant even. And so it's about 10 years ago, his illness just started declining. And his health got to such a bad point, he had to leave the job that he loved and adored.
I know he worked in Silicon Valley in tech, and now you both live in Seattle. But I want to ask you about what you went through as a caretaker, right? And what you learned and what you're sharing now. Talk about why you think this may be almost harder than just mourning someone who's completely gone.
Oh, yeah. You know, chronic illness caregivers really suffer from something called ambiguous loss. Now, ambiguous loss is basically a unique type of grief where you have this profound sense of grief, and yet your loved one is still alive, still there with you. And you have to still carry on. And so this is something that I struggled with, and lots of other caregivers that come to my support group struggle with. And it's something that I try to help other caregivers with. I have done a lot of training. I used to read a lot of books, attended a lot of workshops. I've seen therapists, I've seen coaches, and I'm doing Zen training. All to say that I have been seeking ways to cope with being a chronic illness caregiver, with all the stresses and sense of overwhelm and grief. And I've now developed ways to now deal with it.
Okay.
And now I help
so I'm
others.
going to ask you to share your 5 tips in like the 1 minute we have left, real quickly, right, for caregivers.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I'll condense it down to first to really to become more resilient. There are many different ways you can do so. So there are physical, emotional, mindset, spiritual ways that you can help build your resilience. So that means self-care, basically. And there's lots of different ways, and it's different for everyone. The second thing I would say is to really understand this idea of non-attachment. And this is something that my Zen teacher has been teaching me for several years now. This idea of if you're attaching to the way things used to be when your loved one was healthy or the way you think things should be, you're going to suffer because you can't have that thing that you are attached to. So you have to learn how to be non-attached. The third thing I'd say is seek out a support group. And so be with people who get it, who understand what you're going through, and you learn a lot of resources. You're with people who you can really connect with.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
And in the 10 seconds we have left, Kim, what are the last two?
I would say the last thing is to realize you can still enjoy life.
Oh, you know what? This is just like us, journalism reporter and print reporter. I'm cutting you. I'm cutting you. All right, make it quick, girl. No, these are such great tips, and it's all gleaned from your life experiences. And it's Caregiver Wisdom.net. Look, good luck to you. I know it's a tough road, but I'm glad you're walking it with a lot of people and sharing that wisdom. Thanks, Kim.
Thank you, Kristen.